Hi, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Skylar.
We're here at the Blackfriary Community Heritage Archaeology Project, and this is home to the Blackfriary Monastery, which is one of Trim's oldest medieval sites and one of Trim's most interesting ghost stories.
We're here with permission from Finola O'Carroll, the site's director, to answer the question of how folklore and ghost stories affect the public's perception of the Blackfriary.
We're going to go have a conversation with her now to find out more about this interesting subject.
I have been a practicing archaeologist effectively since 1983. I live in County Meath, so Trim was a town I was very familiar with. We were approached by a then minister, that's a member of the local government who held ministerial rank, about the site here at Blackfriary. He thought it would make a very interesting site for a field school. The site itself, as we know, was founded in 1263. It's a Dominican friary. We also know that it was quarried out and demolished in the mid-18th century. So, it has an interesting use since then and appears to have been used primarily as a burial ground. Many old friaries, particularly ones close to towns, become built on over time. This one didn't. And there's a very interesting question mark over why it didn't. The only piece that was visible was the piece of masonry from the spiral stairs of the tower. Everything else was covered by grass. The most rewarding thing is that the community's perception has changed. The general perception of the site was that it was kind of a no-go area. Now, particularly since the engagement has been, if you like, multi-pronged. So initially it was a process of inviting people in to see what we were doing. And so many people didn't even know that there was an excavation going on. The site was seen in a more positive light. And finally, through our association with the SMART project, that is the South Meath Area Response for Teenagers. It's a project aimed at teenagers in trouble. Through grant funding which they got, we've built the community garden down at the entrance. So now I have people saying to me, oh, I can't wait to visit the garden, or I was in the garden the other evening and it's lovely. We see families come in and sit, we see teenagers come, sit, chat, talk, sometimes get out and do other stuff, but who cares? So the place is becoming something that is positive, and that is a huge reward for all the work we've done here.
Wow, the Blackfriary has really come a long way. It's amazing how many stories you can find at historical sites like this.
To figure out more about folklore and its purpose, we're going to talk to resident folklorist Marissa Weinecke about what is considered folklore and how it affects perceptions here at the Blackfriary.
I am Marissa Weinecke, and I am a master's student in folklore at Indiana University, where I'm also an associate instructor. Folklore has a lot of different definitions, but I like to think of folklore as the kind of cultural stuff that is traditional, that is vernacular, that is expressive. This encompasses verbal genres and narratives. It encompasses customs and customary activities and material culture. Those particular types of culture are the things that people use to function in the world around them. Ghost stories are kind of classically folklore. If you think about what people consider to be folklore, they are narratives that are told artfully in certain situations. So they are very much what some of the first folklorists would have been collecting. You think about what the Brothers Grimm were collecting. They're collecting artfully told narratives that took place in certain spaces and times. So ghost stories are just kind of obviously folklore, in my opinion. I think what folklore does best is give the listener an idea of that person's existing perceptions. So rather than the story existing and just kind of changing perceptions on the site, the story exists as a way for somebody to sort through their perceptions, as a way for them to reveal their thoughts and feelings.
Now that we understand how ghost stories relate to folklore, let's go hear a local story from a Trim resident.
Our friend Teresa lives near the Blackfriary, and she has some fascinating stories to share with us.
We moved in September, the 24th of September 1985. And we had just moved in, and we were all piled in to the back bedroom. You know, on mattresses as you do when you move in. And we were all trying to get to sleep. And the next thing we heard, which sounded, and yes it was, a big granite stone being moved from the back of the house to the front of the house. And my eldest son said, "Mum, did you hear that?" I said, "I did." He said, "What is it?" I said, "Well, I don't know." He said, "It sounded like granite or a big stone." So he said, "All right." So my other daughter said, "Yes, I heard it, but I'm going to look out the window, Mum." I said, "Don't look out the window." And the next thing, it was a lovely house. It was a happy house, a happy bungalow. Friends came, went. And then one day my daughter came in, who was good at art, and she was nine years of age at this stage. And she said, "Mum, look what I've drawn." And I looked at it and I thought, "What's that?" And she said, "Well, he's Frank." And I said, "Well, who's Frank?" But now she knew nothing about monks or priests, because we are not very religious people. We decide for ourselves what religion we want to be. So when I seen it, I thought, my God, that is a monk. The way she drew it was the head down, but you couldn't see a face. Now, she could draw a face if she wanted to. And I said, "Well, who's Frank?" "Oh, he comes to visit. He floats in the bedroom. But his language is different. I don't know what he's saying." And I said, "Well, if you don't know, I don't know." And I said, "It's all in your mind." She said, "No." So Frank still roams the house to this day. Now, my experience later on, I was asleep and I woke up, as you do, wake up, you're half awake, half asleep. And it was like something was pressing me, not violently, pressing me a bit down on the bed. And I thought, oh my God, one of my daughters have been out on the tear. But there was nobody there. But I could hear in my ear, which like that, it was either Latin, it wasn't Irish, but it was, I know Latin, I can sing one song in Latin, okay, but it sounded a very calm voice. But it was like as if it was in the distance, very soft, in my ear. It was like as if he was talking, but maybe it was a prayer.
Okay.
And then it stopped. My son-in-law, he hears something that's like a clock ticking. And I have no clocks in the bedrooms. Okay. It's like a clock ticking. And sometimes, once or twice along the line, but he's very a bit devil-may-care, he can actually hear like two people talking. If you have, the way he explained it to me, if you have a radio on and there's like two men talking very quietly, but you can't make out what they're saying. Not last year, the year before, I was venturing with a friend of mine from Blackfriary, from my daughter's house, and we decided to take the shortcut through the field.
That's what it was known as, wasn't it? The field.
Just the field.
The field.
The field. It never had a name. It was just the field. But it's actually now what you call part of the dig in Blackfriary. And myself and Jackie were strolling. And I got so far between two, I don't know what they represent. They're like the two walls, the remains of a walls, bricks. One's there and one's there. And I got halfway down and I was chatting to Jack. And this feeling came over me. I have to get out of here. I have to run for my life. And I left my friend and I ran, like as if my life depended on it. And I cleared that fence. The wooden fence here at the top
of your house.
I cleared that. And it was like as if there was something after me, it was like somebody wanted to get me. And it wasn't one or two people, it was quite a few, and they were coming after me hell for leather. Now, as I said, I'm not a person that is frightened, but by God. But as soon as I jumped that fence and got down to where there's an opening for my husband to have the car, it left me. It was like, I'm safe.
We've heard some insightful testimonials from these locals, but what does it all mean?
How has learning about the history of the site informed the recollected experiences of these individuals?
Feelings of protectiveness over the site have resurfaced during these recollections. These may be attributed to superstitions arising from or resulting in supernatural experiences.
Historical sites such as the Blackfriary have the power to hold historical memory. These memories are reflected in the folkloric stories that are shared by the community.
We hope that you have enjoyed these stories about the Blackfriary and the greater Trim community.
The site is always open to visitors and offers tours every other Thursday.
We'll see you on site.
When I was 6 years old, I broke my leg. And I was running from my brother and his friends. And tasted the sweet
3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Patrick. We're here at the Blackfriary Community Heritage and Archaeology Project, which is home to the Blackfriary, one of Trim's oldest medieval sites.
Okay, there we go.
Shoot.
Okay, ready guys? Go ahead.
Patrick, you really took one for the team.
So you're gonna sit now? Okay, I'm gonna sit then.
Wait, can we grab a scale super quick?
No.
Let's do this.
Stay out, Bobby. We've heard some insightful. Alright.
Okay, wait.
She can cut it. So, damn it. Alright.